You know, people often ask me, Steve, how did you do it? How did you build Apple? How did you revolutionize industries? How did you, change the world? They expect some grand, mystical answer, some secret formula scribbled on a napkin that only a select few are meant to decipher. They expect some esoteric knowledge available only to the initiated, the privileged, or the genetically gifted. But the truth, the profound, unvarnished truth, is far simpler. It's not about magic, it's about habits, daily habits. The small, seemingly insignificant choices you make, day in and day out, that compound into something extraordinary. It's about the silent architecture of your daily life, the unseen scaffolding that supports your greatest aspirations. It's about how you spend your time, how you direct your focus, and how you cultivate your inner world. We live in a world overflowing with noise. Distractions scream for your attention. Every app, every notification, every fleeting thought seems to have a plan for your time, your focus, your energy. We are constantly inundated, perpetually pulled in 1,000 directions. The modern condition, it seems, is a state of perpetual distraction. A mind perpetually running 1,000 programs at once, none of them fully optimized. But what if I told you that the most powerful tool you possess is not a piece of technology, but your own mind? And the most impactful innovations don't come from working 18-hour days, from the sheer brute force of endless labor, but from cultivating a few core disciplines that amplify your genius, from learning to direct that supercomputer between your ears with laser-like precision. I'm not here to tell you to work harder. I'm here to tell you to work smarter, to live more intentionally, to design your life with the same meticulous precision and passionate dedication you'd apply to a groundbreaking product. Because your life, my friends, is your greatest creation. It is the canvas upon which you paint your purpose, your legacy. And just like any truly great creation, it demands clarity, it demands focus, and it demands relentless iteration. It demands an understanding of its core essence, and a willingness to strip away everything that doesn't serve that essence. Today, we're going to peel back the layers. We're going to dive deep into the 5 daily habits that weren't just my routine, but my ritual. The practices that allowed me to cut through the clutter, to see the future before it arrived, and to build things that truly mattered. These aren't just for millionaires or tech moguls, for the select few who grace the covers of magazines. These are for anyone who is hungry, anyone who is foolish enough to believe they can make a dent in the universe, anyone who is tired of the noise and ready to build something real. So, grab a seat, clear your mind, lean in close, and prepare to reprogram your operating system. Because by the end of this, you won't just know how I worked. You'll know how to unlock your own insane focus on demand, how to transform your life, one deliberate habit at a time, how to become the architect of your own destiny, not just a passenger.
Let's begin.
Habit 1, the art of singular focus. Eliminating the noise.
You know, the human mind is a supercomputer, a magnificent, intricate machine, capable of processing vast amounts of information, of forming connections, of generating insights that can reshape reality itself. But what do most people do with their supercomputer? They run 1,000 programs at once. They have a dozen browser tabs open, a dozen tasks half completed, a dozen worries spinning in the background like runaway processes consuming all their processing power. Their mental RAM is consumed by rogue programs, by digital detritus, and their overall performance suffers dramatically. Their potential remains largely untapped. This isn't productive. It's not effective. It's a recipe for psychic entropy, for mental exhaustion, for a mind that's not just cluttered, but, as the saying goes, a disgusting nest of filth. My first and most fundamental habit was ruthless focus. It wasn't about doing more things. It was about doing the right things. The few things that truly moved the needle, the vital few that drove disproportionate results. As Sam Altman, A brilliant mind from OpenAI once said, "Focus is a force multiplier on work." Almost everyone I've ever met would be well served by spending more time thinking about what to focus on. It is much more important to work on the right thing than it is to work many hours. This isn't a matter of opinion. It's a fundamental truth of productivity and innovation. Think back to the early days of Apple. Think about the first Macintosh. What made it revolutionary? It wasn't its sheer complexity, it was its elegant simplicity. We stripped it down to its essence. We removed features, not added them. We made excruciating choices about what not to include, because simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And simplicity, true simplicity, only comes from intense, singular focus, from asking not what else can it do, but what is the one thing it must do, brilliantly, flawlessly, beautifully. It was about focusing on the user experience, on the core interaction, on the fundamental human need it was designed to fulfill. Here's how to integrate this ruthless focus into your daily ritual. How do you cultivate this kind of singular focus in your own life? It starts with clarity. Most people aren't productive because they lack clarity. They don't have a singular vision, a well-defined cone guiding their attention. They are reactive, not proactive. Their minds are pulled by the nearest urgent but often unimportant task. Your mind should be open to your ideal future, yes, that grand vision that pulls you forward, but it must be intensely focused on the present steps to get there. The path is built one focused step at a time.
Identify your one big goal, your singular vision, before you even begin to think about your day, your week, or your month. Ask yourself, what is the one thing, the one meaningful project that will define your next season? This isn't a nebulous aspiration. It's a concrete, challenging goal that, if achieved, would profoundly shift your trajectory. This isn't a to-do list item, a small task to check off. This is your guiding star. This is your vision, your all-encompassing purpose that gives direction to every action. Without it, you're just drifting, reacting to the currents, not charting your own course. This vision should be so compelling, so clear, that it acts as a magnet for your energy, pulling everything else into alignment.
Eliminate distractions ruthlessly. The digital detox. Distractions are not merely annoyances. They are cancerous problems in your productivity system. They are the rogue programs consuming your precious mental resources. They are the noise that drowns out the signal. Turn off notifications, every single one. Close unnecessary browser tabs. Put your phone in another room or on airplane mode during your deep work blocks. Create an environment, both physical and digital, where your mind can anchor its attention without constant interruption. This isn't about avoiding the world, it's about commanding your world. It's about creating a sanctuary for your mind to do its most important work. We designed our products to be beautiful and intuitive, but also to disappear, to get out of the way so you can focus on your creativity. Do the same for your environment.
Embrace the 4-hour workday philosophy, or your version of it. The idea isn't literally to work only 4 hours a day. Although for some, once they achieve mastery and leverage, that's entirely possible. The core principle is that value isn't in how many hours you work, but where you focus your attention, awareness, and consciousness during those hours. It's about intense bursts of output, followed by intentional, restorative rest. It's not about working longer. It's about making those work periods unbelievably potent, hyper-focused, and incredibly productive. This means a lot of what people consider work is just noise, busy work, or low-leverage activities. Cut it, delegate it, automate it.
I've seen entrepreneurs work 14 hours a day, chained to their desks, buried under emails, and go nowhere. And I've known others who work 5 hours a day, focused on the truly essential, and build and sell multiple companies for hundreds of millions. The difference? Focus. They worked on the right thing. They understood that productivity is like fitness. You wouldn't train 8 hours a day with no food or sleep and expect to make progress, would you? Your body would break down. The same applies to your mind. Protect its energy, channel it, direct it with unwavering clarity. Recognize that your capacity for deep, focused work is finite each day. Maximize those precious hours. This often means saying no to meetings, to side projects, to conversations that pull you away from your core mission. It means having the courage to prune, to simplify, to distill. This isn't easy. It requires discipline. It requires saying no to 1,000 good ideas so you can say yes to the one truly great one. But when you do, when you master this singular focus, your work becomes a force multiplier. Your actions become a ripple, transforming not just your life, but shaping the world around you. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about impact. It's about creating something truly meaningful. Most people spend their lives in maintenance mode. They respond to emails, attend meetings, manage existing systems, react to problems that arise. They are living in the past, constantly catching up, or at best, living in the present, just keeping the plates spinning. They are administrators of their own lives, not architects. But to change the world, to truly innovate, you must be a builder. You must be creating. You must be bringing something new into existence, something that wasn't there before. Habit 2, building, not just maintaining, the project mindset. My life and the life of Apple was a continuous cycle of building. Even when we were at our peak. When the iPod was a sensation, we were already building the next thing, the iPhone. We weren't resting on our laurels, we were actively disrupting ourselves. The iPhone didn't come from maintaining the iPod, it came from a willingness to cannibalize our own success, to embrace radical change, to build something entirely new, something that would render our previous triumphs obsolete. This is the essence of innovation, a constant, restless drive to create, to improve, to reinvent. The problem is, building requires upfront work. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, it's often unrewarding in the short term, demanding significant effort before any tangible payoff. It requires stepping in the unknown, risking failure, and pushing through resistance. And people get discouraged. They think building is a permanent state of working extra hours, of endless sacrifice. It's not. It's a focused burst, maybe 6 weeks of working extra, or working more on the weekends, a period of intense creative output, and then you shift back to a more sustainable maintenance rhythm. But that initial building, that intentional creation, is crucial. If you're not building, you're stagnating, you're simply maintaining the status quo. Your second daily habit should be dedicated to building, to working on one meaningful project aimed at your one vision for your future. This isn't optional. If you aren't building your future consciously and deliberately, that future isn't going to be built. Or worse, someone else will build it for you, and it may not be the one you truly desire. Here's how to cultivate a project mindset. Solve problems as you build your path to higher consciousness. When you're building, you're constantly encountering problems. This is not a sign of failure, it's a good thing. Problems are not obstacles. They are opportunities to increase your level of mind or level of consciousness. They force you to think differently, to innovate, to learn new skills, to push beyond your current capabilities. If you're not building, the only problems you encounter are often the ones your mind fabricates, the anxieties of an unchallenged existence. Real problems, as encountered in the act of creation, are profoundly transformative. They force you to grow, they hone your skills, they deepen your understanding, embrace them as the true teachers they are.
Define your project clearly. What tangible thing are you building that moves you towards your vision? Is it a new product, a skill, a business, a book, a creative work, a physical transformation? Make it concrete, make it specific. A project is something that has a clear beginning, middle, and end, and a definable outcome. Remember, your project falls under your vision, and you continue building projects until you reach that vision. Each project is a stepping stone, a completed piece of the larger puzzle. Don't let it remain a vague aspiration. Give it form.
Embrace the MVP, minimum viable project. Don't wait for perfection. It's the enemy of progress. Perfectionism is often just fear in disguise, a sophisticated form of procrastination. Just like we built early versions of software and hardware that weren't perfect, but functional enough to test, iterate, and learn from. You need to get something out on paper. You build the bad version first so you can improve it. You cannot improve something that doesn't exist. The greatest ideas die in the realm of theory. They need to be manifested, however crudely, to be refined. Start with something small. If you want to write a book, start with 5 minutes of writing, then 15, then 30. If you want to build an app, sketch out the user interface, build a simple prototype. The key is to start, to move, to create momentum. Habit 3, the power of deadlines and discomfort. The procrastinator's edge teaches you build, solidify your knowledge. The best way to truly learn something, to master a concept, is to build a project related to it, and teaches you build. This forces you to understand it deeply, to articulate it, to organize your thoughts, and to solidify your own knowledge. It's the difference between memorization and true understanding. When you teach, you simplify, you structure, you make implicit knowledge explicit. This process not only benefits your audience, but also profoundly deepens your own comprehension and retention. It makes you an authority, not just a consumer of information. Recognize the compounding effect of building. Remember, when you build one thing, it takes 2 weeks. When you build the second thing, it takes 2 days. When you build the third thing, it takes 2 hours. This isn't literal, of course. It's a powerful metaphor for the compounding effect of skills, knowledge, and experience. Each project you complete, each problem you solve, builds upon the last. You develop a muscle for creation, a knack for navigating uncertainty, a confidence in your ability to bring ideas to life. Most people never get to the third thing because they never start the first. They remain stuck in perpetual planning, in theoretical aspiration. Be a builder. Make it a daily ritual. Even if it's just one focused hour, consistently apply. That consistent effort, that relentless progress is what transforms the impossible into the inevitable. It's how vision becomes reality.
This might sound counterintuitive, especially for creative work, which many assume thrives in limitless freedom. But deadlines are the procrastinator's edge. They are the external force that compels action, that strips away the option of delay. You aren't productive because you aren't public. When you set a launch date for a product, when you announce a major presentation, when millions of people are expecting something from you, you better finish it. Suddenly, procrastination isn't just laziness. It's a matter of professional survival, of public integrity, of self-respect.
I'm often asked about motivation. How do you stay motivated, Steve? How do you keep pushing when the odds are stacked against you, when everyone tells you it can't be done? My answer, motivation is a myth, or at least it's unreliable. It's a fleeting emotion, a spark that can ignite but rarely sustains. You don't wait for motivation to strike. You don't wait for the right mood, or the new year, Monday, or some perfect cosmic alignment that never actually shows up. You just start, and you impose deadlines, unforgiving deadlines. Think about the original Macintosh. The 1984 ad wasn't just a commercial, it was a stake in the ground. It set an expectation. It created an immovable deadline that forced the entire team to push beyond what they thought was possible. The iPhone launch, we were still tweaking it minutes before the keynote. That pressure, that immutable deadline wasn't a hindrance. It was a catalyst. It forced absolute clarity, rapid decision-making, and unparalleled focus. Most successful entrepreneurs are lazy, someone once provocatively said. They wait until the last minute to get work done. But during that last minute, they enter the most enjoyable season of their lives. Their mind becomes a magnet for ideas. Their best work happens in these periods of obsession and intensity. Why? Because they don't have a choice. Their survival, their reputation, their entire future is at stake. The discomfort of the deadline, the pressure to deliver, unlocks a level of mental acuity and creativity that leisurely work rarely can.
Embrace discomfort. The life you want, the future you envision, will not fall into your hands. It will be built by your hands. It will not come through wishful thinking, through passive dreaming, but through intentional action. And intentional action often means stepping into the uncomfortable. It means doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. It means pushing past the initial resistance, the inner voice that whispers for ease and delay.
Here's how to harness the power of deadlines and discomfort. Set non-negotiable deadlines and make them public. For your most important projects, set a firm, immovable deadline. Then make it public. Tell your team, your friends, your family, your audience. The accountability created by public commitment is a powerful motivator. Create a launch date for your personal projects, however small. The pressure, the external expectation, will force clarity and action. It will transform vague intentions into concrete commitment. Confront boredom and anxiety with clarity, the flow state. The reference text talks about the delicate balance between boredom and anxiety, adapted from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's profound concept of flow. If the challenge of a task is too high for your current skill level, you get anxious, overwhelmed, and often quit. If your skill is too high and the challenge too low, you get bored, disengaged, and prone to distraction. Both lead to chaos, to wasted time and potential. The cure: clarity and intentional calibration. When your skill and knowledge precisely match the challenge, when you are stretched but not broken, life becomes a video game of quests that you love to play. You enter a state of flow, where time distorts, self-consciousness disappears, and your performance soars. Push yourself to that edge. Intentionally seek challenges that slightly exceed your current comfort zone. This is where growth happens. This is where innovation sparks. Embrace the axis of your suffering. The reference text speaks about your goals are the axis of your suffering. This is not a negative statement, it's a profound truth. To achieve anything great, you will suffer. There will be discomfort, doubt, and setback. But when you choose the problems you want to solve, when you embrace the suffering inherent in pursuing a meaningful goal, it leads to meaningful living and purpose. It transforms suffering from an external imposition into an internal choice, a part of your chosen path. Don't shy away from the hard parts of your chosen journey. They are essential to its meaning. Run towards difficulty, not away from it. Don't run from difficulty, run to it. This is a fundamental mindset shift. Most people instinctively avoid what is hard, what is challenging, what requires effort. But every setback, every struggle, every difficult problem is not an obstacle. It is an opportunity to expand, to build resilience, to increase your capacity, to prove to yourself what you're truly made of. Hard work works. Good choices lead to good things. There's never a wrong time to do what's right, to tackle the difficult task, to have the uncomfortable conversation. Embrace the grind, find the joy in the struggle. That's where mastery lies. Practice the 5-second rule and act immediately. As Mel Robbins famously advises, you have 5 seconds to act on your impulse or it's gone. Don't wait, don't overthink, don't allow resistance to build. When an idea sparks, when you know what needs to be done, move instantly. Power belongs to the man who decides, the man who moves, the man who endures. Procrastination thrives in the space between thought and action. Close that gap. Take the first step, however small. The momentum will follow. This habit cultivates self-trust and breaks the cycle of inaction. This isn't about being a machine devoid of emotion. It's about recognizing human nature and then consciously choosing to override its default settings of comfort and delay. It's about training your mind to respond to challenge with focused energy, not hesitation. That is where progress is made. That is where revolutions are born. It's where dreams are forged into reality, one difficult, deliberate step at a time. Habit 4, rest and replenishment. The secret of the greats. This one might surprise you, especially coming from me, the guy who was often known for working relentlessly, for pushing boundaries and demanding impossible timelines. But here's the profound truth I learned, sometimes the hard way. Relentless work without intentional strategic rest isn't productive. It's unsustainable. It's the path to burnout, not breakthrough. It's a recipe for diminishing returns, for creative blocks, for exhaustion that saps your brilliance. The clever man may work smarter, not harder, they say. But the creative man doesn't work at all. Now that's a provocative statement, isn't it? But it holds a profound truth. Visionaries, strategists, innovators throughout history, from ancient Roman philosophers like Seneca and Greek thinkers who valued contemplation, to titans of the modern age like Charles Darwin, who took long walks, or Albert Einstein, who played his violin, attributed their breakthroughs and sustained output to surprisingly low active work times. Hemingway, Tarantino, countless artists and thinkers weren't chained to their desks all day. They understood the power of active rest, of allowing the mind to wander, to connect disparate ideas. Your focus, your mental energy is finite. It's like a muscle. You can't keep bench pressing until you hit absolute failure day after day and expect to make progress. Your body would break down. The mind needs recovery just like a muscle. And when it gets it, when it's allowed to rest and integrate, the work flows. The ideas emerge seemingly out of nowhere. The complex problems unravel. This is where true creativity, the aha moments, often reside. My work, my best ideas often came not from grinding away at a problem, from forcing a solution, but from walking, from thinking, from allowing my subconscious to chew on ideas while my conscious mind was disengaged, observing the world, taking a shower, or simply being present. This is why I often wore the same clothes, ate the same simple meals. It was to free up mental energy, to minimize trivial decisions, to create mental space for the truly important work, for the deep thinking that leads to innovation.
Implement time blocks and active rest. The deep work sprint. Don't just work until you're exhausted. Schedule your work in focused blocks. Set a timer for 45 to 90 minutes of intense, focused work. No distractions, no context switching. This is your deep work sprint. Then when the timer goes off, take a break, a real break. Don't just sit there staring at your screen or scrolling through social media. Get up, go for a brisk walk, cook a simple meal, listen to music, engage in active rest. Allow your conscious mind to disengage, to relax, and your subconscious mind to munch on potential ideas. This isn't wasting time, it's maximizing your cognitive performance. It's allowing for diffused thinking, where your brain makes connections that focused thinking often misses.
Here's how to integrate strategic rest and replenishment. Prioritize your body, the foundation of performance. When you prioritize your body, your mind and finances follow, because you're improving the vessel from which those things come. This is non-negotiable. Exercise, adequate sleep, good nutrition, hydration. These aren't luxuries. They are fundamental building blocks for a mind that can operate at its peak. You can't expect your supercomputer to perform optimally on junk fuel and minimal power. Treat your body like the irreplaceable, high-performance machine it is. A strong body supports a strong mind. This means conscious choices about what you eat, when you sleep, and how you move. Don't neglect it for more work. It's an investment in your capacity to work at all and to work brilliantly. Separate work and rest with hard transitions. At the end of my intense work sessions or at the end of my workday, I had a hard transition. For some, it's hitting the gym. For others, it's a specific ritual like meditating or reading a physical book or spending time with family or changing clothes. The point is to clearly delineate between work and rest. Don't let them bleed into each other, creating a state of perpetual low-level stress and semi-work. When you rest, truly rest. Disconnect, let your mind fully recharge. This isn't just about escaping work, it's about giving your mind the necessary space to process, to integrate, to repair, and to generate new insights. Your mind will thank you, and your output will reflect it.
Embrace disconnection from technology. While I love technology, I also understood its seductive power and its capacity to fragment attention. The very tools we create to enhance life can, if not managed, diminish it. Periodically disconnect. Step away from the screens. Immerse yourself in nature, in conversation, in sensory experiences that don't involve a backlit display. This allows your brain to truly decompress, to escape the constant stimulation, and to return to a baseline of calm and clarity. Many of my best ideas came during long walks, periods of silent contemplation, far from the hum of computers.
This isn't about laziness, this is about strategic recovery. It's about understanding the deep well springs of creativity and innovation, and how to keep them replenished. It's about recognizing that the greatest ideas often arrive not when you're frantically searching for them, but when you've given your mind the space to connect the dots in silence, in moments of rest, in periods of intentional detachment. It's about listening to the quiet whispers of insight that only emerge when the noise of constant activity has faded. When I came back to Apple in 1997, the company was on the brink of collapse. Many people had written us off. There was a lot of noise in the media, a lot of speculation, a lot of armchair critics offering their opinions. But I didn't engage in debate. I didn't hold endless press conferences to explain myself. I didn't waste energy trying to convince skeptics with words. We just built, we created, we executed. We launched the iMac, then the iPod, then iTunes, then the iPhone. And in that relentless, focused silence of execution, we didn't just survive, we dominated. We proved them wrong through undeniable results. Habit 5, cultivating inner certainty and letting silence speak.
This is perhaps the most difficult and yet the most powerful habit of all. It's about letting your success do the talking. It's about moving with an unshakable inner certainty, not seeking external validation, not engaging in the endless debates of those who doubt or criticize. It's about understanding that power is not in promises, it is in execution. True power doesn't shout, it acts.
Here's how to cultivate this inner certainty and let your silence speak. The strongest individuals don't waste energy proving themselves. They let their success do the talking. They don't argue. They don't seek to impress. They don't over-explain. They simply move with certainty, with conviction, with an unshakable belief in their vision. And that certainty, that quiet, powerful confidence, commands respect far more effectively than any verbose argument or boast ever could. Develop the discipline to keep ambitions private and execute in the dark. Work relentlessly, but do not seek applause. Let people wonder about your next move. Let them question how you stay so composed, so unfazed, so confident. The less they know, the more control you have. The less you reveal, the more room you create for awe when the results finally surface. Silence is not passive, it is strategy. It conserves your energy, prevents premature criticism, and allows you to surprise and delight. It forces people to fill in the gaps, to speculate, and in that uncertainty, you gain an intangible power. Your work speaks louder than any marketing campaign ever could. Embrace your anti-vision as a powerful motivator. What do you not want in this life? What do you not want your future to be? What do you not want your daily life to look like? Write it down. Be brutally honest. Detail the mediocrity, the stagnation, the wasted potential you absolutely reject. When you look at your anti-vision, you should feel deeply uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. That discomfort, that visceral aversion is a powerful fuel. Laser focuses you on your true vision because your anti-vision is usually the default outcome of mindless action and letting entropy take hold. This helps you clarify your true desires and choose your goals, which are the axis of your suffering. But when you choose the problems you want to solve, it leads to meaningful living and profound purpose. It clarifies what you are truly fighting for by defining what you are fighting against. Reprogram your identity through relentless repetition. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to one-time information or fleeting inspiration. It responds to relentless repetition. If your old mental loop, your old identity is I'm not good enough, I'm a procrastinator, or I'm not capable, it will dominate your actions and outcomes until a stronger, more positive one replaces it. You must consciously reprogram it. You play this new message again and again as you speak the lines aloud, not casually, but with energy, with conviction. You memorize the phrases that empower you, the truths that resonate with your deepest aspirations. You repeat them in your mind when resistance rises, when doubt creeps in. You let this message become your new mental software, your default operating system. What you feed forms you. What you repeat becomes you. So don't let this message fade. Treat it like a daily ritual, a sacred practice of self-transformation. This is how you literally reshape your identity. Act as if everything always works out. Mental engineering. This isn't naive, wishful thinking. It's mental engineering. It's a deliberate choice to adopt a mindset of inevitable success. Henry Ford didn't hope things would work out with the Model T. He decided they would, and he built the system to make it so. Thomas Edison didn't doubt his ultimate success after thousands of failed prototypes for the light bulb, because he assumed success was inevitable. He didn't need to see it in the present. He carried it in his mind and acted as if it was already his. This is the energy that builds legacies. It's a profound self-belief that fuels persistence through setbacks, because failure is merely a temporary deviation, not a final destination. Walk with undeniable certainty. You walk not as the man who started this video, but as the man who has already become what he used to chase. You don't move like you're trying. You don't speak like you're hoping. You walk like it's already done. This is not arrogance. It's a profound inner conviction, a self-possessed power that comes from knowing who you are, what you're building, and the inevitable outcome of your focused effort. It's the quiet confidence of someone who has done the work, faced the discomfort, and emerged stronger. This inner state radiates outwards, inspiring trust and commanding attention without uttering a single unnecessary word. It's the embodiment of silent strength. So there you have it. Not secrets whispered in exclusive boardrooms, not esoteric philosophies found in ancient texts, but daily rituals forged in the fires of discipline and tempered by the cold silence of strength. These are the habits of a life lived with intention, with purpose, with a relentless drive to create. Your silence is part of your legacy. It's a reminder that you didn't let the noise of the world drown you out, that you didn't let the chaos of others define you, that you stood tall, stayed strong, and chose peace over conflict, execution over argument. And that legacy, it's not just about you, it's about the ripple effect you create, about the people who come after you, the ones who look to you for inspiration, for guidance, for strength. Your silence isn't just a response, it's a lesson, a reminder that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say nothing at all, and let your actions, your creations, and your undeniable progress speak for themselves. This is the ultimate power. The art of singular focus, stripping away the superfluous to reveal the essential. The relentless habit of building, creating your future brick by brick, project by project. The embrace of deadlines and discomfort, turning pressure into a powerful catalyst for action. The strategic power of rest and replenishment, understanding that true innovation requires periods of silence and integration, and the profound certainty of inner conviction, letting your results speak for themselves, moving with quiet, undeniable power.
These aren't just habits I used, these are the habits I lived. They became who I was. They became the very essence of my operating system. And they became the foundation for everything we achieved at Apple, for every product that delighted, every industry we redefined.
Remember, innovation isn't reserved for a chosen few, for those with a particular pedigree or a privileged upbringing. It's not about being born a genius. It's about the daily decision to show up, to focus, to build, to endure, and to evolve. It's about taking that one opportunity come this way, this singular, precious life, and making every moment count, making every effort meaningful. You woke up this morning not by accident, but with a latent potential, with a fire waiting to be stoked. You woke up to chase your dream until you catch it. You're closer than you've ever been before. The world teeming with problems waiting to be solved, with needs waiting to be met, with beauty waiting to be created, is waiting for you to unleash your own unique brilliance. It's waiting for your contribution. The choice, my friends, is yours, but remember, silence isn't weakness. It's power, it's strength, it's everything they fear, and it's everything you are. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep wasting your precious energy on distractions, on waiting for motivation, on waiting for the perfect moment that will never arrive? Are you going to let the noise of the world define your existence, pulling you in every direction until you're exhausted and unfulfilled? Or are you going to let these habits speak for you? Are you going to let your actions, your creations, and your quiet certainty rise above the fray? Stay hungry, stay foolish, and just start today, not tomorrow. because tomorrow is a promise. Today is a decision to begin, a decision to act, a decision to become. You'll build something that changes your world. Make that your unwavering focus. And then, perhaps with the ripples you create, it will change the world for us all.